Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance. Flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Jim, come on right up. Morning, Jim. Morning, everyone. I trust that everybody got the DPW report, and we can go through them one line item at a time. Highway Division. Any questions for Jim on the highway report? Jim, do you have anything to add to that?
I really don't have anything to add other than the asphalt plants are opening this week, and so we're going to start installing asphalt here shortly.
Good. No questions on the highway? We'll go to buildings and grounds. You all got the report? Any questions on buildings and grounds? Anything extra on buildings and grounds, Jim?
Just want to highlight that we've started the LED lighting upgrade project. We've completed the DPW office, and I hope to, in a couple of months, bring to you if we've seen any savings or what kind of savings we've seen since last year. We're in the process of procuring the rest of the light fixtures for the main county complex now.
Good. Questions on that? How about janitors report? On that? Health and safety codes? Do I have anything else on either one of those?
No, I do not.
Public safety building? Anything on that? Okay, anybody has anything, just jump right in. Engineering?
Just that we've started construction on the FEMA-funded Halls Falls Road project, and we should be accepting bids in a couple of weeks on one of the bridges out on County Route 34 in Minerva.
Okay. Nothing on that. Fish hatchery update. How's the stocking going?
We should be done stocking in the next 2 weeks. They've got about 30,000 of the 52,000 fish that we're going to stock this year out as of the end of the month. And during the abatement process, the former feed building had some structural issues. The building became unsafe. To remove the asbestos, we had to condemn the building, so we're in the process of getting a change order from the contractor to remove that building completely, and our buildings and grounds staff is in the process of relocating the electrical off the side of the building. So I'll update you on that once I have those numbers.
Okay, Mr. Scott.
If we can go back to health and safety for a moment. I spoke to Dan about this, and also Jim, and in regards to the new asbestos laws are a killer. I don't know if you've dealt with them in your towns now, but even a single-family residence, if that is no longer occupied, you want to take it down, you have to have someone go in there and do an asbestos review and see if there's asbestos in there and so on, which is considered very, very costly. Like that first initial visit, just to determine if there's asbestos in the building, can run anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. So I suggested that possibly the county could train someone not to remove asbestos. I'm not talking about removal or anything else, but just to make the initial visit to go in to see if in fact there is asbestos located within that building. I know other municipalities have done it. I think some schools have done it, not in this county. But I think it's something that we should look at. I'm not certain what the training would cost or anything else, but I think it's important. And we're going to have to deal with this eventually when the county starts taking properties for back taxes and so on. So.
Right.
I did ask, since our conversation, I did ask Seth Salati, the health and safety officer, if he could at least try to give me an idea of what would be involved to get a person trained just to do the inspection.
Right.
About a year ago, we did look into the cost associated with actual asbestos removal, and that was, that was not something that we felt we should go down, so, but I'll try to bring some numbers back to this board after Seth can prepare that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tom, and I think Seth would be the one to be trained for that.
I mean, initially, we could end up paying, again, $2,000 is probably the minimum to have someone, to pay someone to go in there and do a review and not have any asbestos. I just think that if possible, I think it would be feasible for the county to provide that service, not only for county purposes, but for any municipality that may need it. So. And we can list that as a shared service for the governor. Seriously, you could. I mean, that certainly would qualify.
No, it doesn't.
No? Okay, well.
Well, again, it only qualifies if you can prove that you were spending more money on it previously than you would be moving forward. It doesn't, nothing counts that makes sense in terms of...
That's what I was thinking.
I get it.
In fact, you can say that if I can do something which I know in the long run will save us money, it doesn't count for that program because you haven't spent any money in the past on it. So if you haven't spent money in the past, there's no savings moving forward, therefore it would not qualify under the program. That's what we call reverse logic.
Right. Anybody else? We'll look into that.
Thank you.
In regards to the fish hatchery, do you have a timeline that the manager's
It looks like I should have the change order for this other feed building in the next week, and then they should be able to mobilize within a couple weeks of us approving that. So I'm expecting that change order to be, it will fall within the county guidelines so that Mr. Palmer can sign it without me having to bring it back to the board because it'll be less than 10% of the contract value. So if that's the case, then I'm expecting early to mid-June that they'll be back to do that work.
Thank you. Anybody else? Go on to miscellaneous then. Fairgrounds. You want to talk about the road going into the fairgrounds where we're going to be building a nutrition center today, or are you ready for that?
I believe Mr. Manning was going to request an executive session on that, on the lease, so maybe we can wait on that. But regarding the nutrition building, I've got approximately 85% set of construction drawings done, and I intend to put it out to bid later this month, with bids being received in June, and hopefully we'll break ground on that in July.
Very good. Anybody have any questions on his report? The miscellaneous? Okay. You have one resolution, you said?
I do have one resolution. I'd like a resolution authorizing the purchasing agent to go out to bid for surveying services, a term agreement for that we could use at DPW and the towns would be able to piggyback off of also.
And that's moved by Mr. McNally. Do we have a second on that? By Mr. Moore. Discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Resolution carries. Do you have anything else?
Just an update on solid waste. We did have a tractor-trailer catch on fire up in North Elba last week, so that's taken that out of service. Don't know the cause yet. It looks like maybe something got thrown out that still had some hot embers in it. So that makes that precarious situation with trailers a little more difficult with that unit out of service. So.
Okay, any questions for Jim before he leaves? And Jim, would you do me a favor and we got soil and water up here, would you get a hold of Mr. Manning, see if he wants to have the executive session now or later on?
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Soil, water, Dave Reckon has been excused for medical reasons, and we have Laura here and Alice in the audience. Come on right up, Laura. Morning, Laura.
Good morning. the report's attached, so if anybody has any questions.
Okay, you've all got the report. Take a second to read it while we're waiting for Mr. Manning's answer. And does anybody have any questions for Laura?
I will comment that we had our Envirothon last week. It was a good success. We had 17 schools over 4 counties. We had 4 schools, I believe, from Essex County. Keene Central School won for Essex County. Everybody did a great job, of course. And we used the, actually that's forestry, never mind.
Mr. Morrow?
Yes.
My son participated in that event and just couldn't say enough good things about it, and he's looking forward to the next stage of it, so thank you.
Awesome. Love it.
Congratulations to the Keene School. Nobody has anything for Laura for cellular water? If not, we're going to wait a second for Jim to get back here, but thank you very much,
Do
Laura.
you want to do the forestry one?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So there's kind of just that little woodlot management under there, but we did use the UTV recently in the Lewis property to seed on the power line right-of-way there. So we're looking forward to seeing how that works out. We used our new piece of equipment, the little dewdrop no-till drill, which is about 5 foot, pulled behind the UTV. So that combination we're hoping really works, and this was kind of our test plot on a forestry project. So we'll let you know how that goes.
Good. Any questions for Laura for forestry? Not? Thank you very much. What we'll do, since we're early right now, we'll take a 5-minute recess and wait for Mr. Manning to get back before I adjourn this meeting. That's all right. So we'll have a 5-minute recess. Call the meeting back to order. Before we go into executive session, Mr. Manning's got a resolution he needs done for solid waste hauling.
Okay, as most of you know, back in the late 90s, around 1998, we had some problems with our existing landfill. And the state and Essex County agreed that we would close our landfill in exchange and not allow for hauling of solid waste within the Adirondack Park, but would allow us to cart our solid waste to Franklin County and Clinton County. And in order to induce us to do that, they agreed to enter into a 20-year contract where we would get $300,000 a year as a stipend to haul in the way that we are currently hauling. The last years of the contract are coming up, and we need authorization from this board to enter into a contract with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for $300,000 for the solid waste disposal that we currently employ, and to ensure that we do it outside the Adirondack Park. So I need a motion, a second, and a roll call. Or not a roll call here. We're in just a voice vote.
Okay, moved by Mr. Pleady. Do we have a second on this? Second by Mr. Moore and Mr. Whitson. Any discussion? Mr. Monte?
Dan, is this going to, the length of this contract, is it going to be 20 years like the last?
Actually, this is the end of it. This is the end of our 20-year period, so I think we're going to have to inquire as to whether we can continue the contract or not. I don't know. We haven't entered into that dialogue, but that's definitely got to happen. Or we will see no more money.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Mr. Harrington?
The town of Crown Point has never participated in the county agreements with solid waste removals. I have been in discussion with Mr. Palmer, and we have yet to compare the numbers as to whether or not it's in Crown Point's best interest to participate. So as a result of that, I won't be voting on that.
Okay, you can abstain. That's fine.
Anybody else? Mr. Scott's
I'm assuming that we have had some discussions with the governor's office in regards to extending this agreement, correct? I was on the board as Jerry was when they hammered this all out. And the whole issue was the fact that we had put a considerable amount of money into building a new landfill, and then they ruled that they didn't want garbage in the Adirondack Park. They wanted no landfills whatsoever. So I'm hopeful that,
We haven't specifically had that language or discussion with the governor's office.
Right.
As of now, it's still with DEC as a, the intent would be that we get a renewal. If we get a renewal contract with them, then we're okay.
Betty, our state representative, I mean, we really need to start discussion on all of that. Thank you.
Mr. McNally?
Yeah, Hamilton County also receives $150,000 per year for this same program. And I don't know if we've heard anything of what they've done towards getting it for another 20 years.
Okay, anybody here has it. Anybody else? All in favor? Opposed? Resolution carries. Anything else to come before this committee before we go into executive session? Can I have a motion to go into executive session? Mr. Scott, second to Mr. Moore.
I'm not on the board, but we need to know what the reason
The
is.
purposes of the executive session are for legal advice relative to the current ground lease at the Essex County Fairgrounds that we entered into with respect to a small campground.
Did I hear you say you weren't on the board?
Yeah.
I'm not on this committee.
Yes, you are.
Well, yes, you are. Right on the bottom. You're on the bottom, by the way. You are on the bottom, but you're here.
Rough weekend. I'm not hilarious.
I heard you say that. Okay, any other discussion? We're going into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so, could I have a motion to go back into open session? Moved by Mr. Whitson, second by Mr. Moore. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. You want to say anything about the executive session?
Well, we went into executive session for purposes of legal advice. No decisions were made in executive session, and nothing will be made today on that subject.
Thank you. Anything else come before the DPW committee? If not, we stand adjourned.